Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to DOD45. This is Series 3, Episode 27, I guess. Wasn't going to announce what episode we were on because I don't know. I don't know how to keep track of all of that. But this is a new episode after our little break. We went down to Florida and did a couple of shows in Miami and Mount Dora. And so we've been on hiatus for a little bit. But I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be starting off the new series with our guest today, who is Sims.
Something up the court, we call their bluff, they call the cops, here come the shots, up the block, chuck them in the gutter, and they wonder how the hunger hunts, propping up a trunk like we won't pop the trunk and take a chunk of apocalypse is coming, huh? Wonder where you running off, climbing up the walls, you want it, fuck your stuff, it's not enough, how you gonna look at...
But I'm looking forward to having a chat with him. So we are back in the gallery in Hannibal, Art by Tai Studio and Gallery and Studio.
In Missouri.
So, how was the break? How was your break, Adrienne? Fine? Whatever.
I'm surviving.
So we kind of a little bit scrambled like usual, but both of our furnaces just went out and we just barely got them fixed. All right. So here, there was just a couple of quick things that I was going to mention, unless you had something you wanted to say.
No, go ahead.
So my two favorite albums of Sims are More Than Ever.
A boy on a plane broke through the clouds for the first time, and I didn't see a single solitary grandparent or a dead dog in my head cocked staring through the plexiglass.
And Field Notes.
Like I told the purist, if I played it, save it with a sold insurance. So I kill it till it's dead, till it grows, get it on the road, then tour it till it's old. Like any good crow, I never tiptoed around no motherfucking straw man. Make me like amen or goddamn.
So those are two of his albums. Those are two of my favorite of his. I haven't seen him recording anything for a while. He does do he does a collaboration with a band called Air. Oh shoot, something I don't know. But their last release was like 2018. So I'm curious to ask him how that's, if he's going to be making some new music. I love everything that he did with Shredders.
Pick him out, why the little light flicker out, huh? What they so sick about, couldn't understand what they wouldn't figure out. Hey, you stick him up before the blicks fill her up. All around the town, swing the dick around, sticking out like a hitchhiker in a damn thing, like I'm how
He was born in 1982. So here are some facts about 1982 that I was going to go through while we wait for him to join on to the call.
We'll go through him quickly because he's here.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, bring him in and I'll go through those with him. Oh, we'll take a quick break. Well, that's what we do. We'll take a quick break and then let our sponsors say whatever they got to say, and then we'll be right back with Sims. Are your walls blank and begging to be decorated? Are you tired of having bland art that doesn't reflect how edgy you really are? Well, in this day and age, there's no reason for you to not own artwork that is just as unique as you. At artbytai.com, you can find loads of fine art prints and original pieces of artwork done by myself, which the script for this ad describes as a master pen artist. But that's not all. You can also purchase ready-to-hang, limited edition artwork, and while supplies last, you can get our new children's book called Beyond the Sea and my new coffee table book, Book of Arms, 178 pages of tentacle-themed creations. Don't spend another moment looking at boring walls that don't reflect who you are. Go to artbytai.com today.
Come on. Give it up.
Welcome back from our quick sponsor break, everybody. Here he is. Speak of the devil, and the devil doth appear.
Hey, Tai was just getting ready to go over some things from 1982.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. And yeah, like I told you, we had issues with the furnace guy. He just barely left, so we didn't really get to do the intro. I was going to talk about some things that came out in 82 since you were born in 82. So I figured we just bring you in, and I'll just bring those up and see if you knew of these things.
Okay, I like it.
All right. So the Commodore 64 became the first popular home use computer in most homes. That was in 1982.
most homes or like most really, really rich homes?
I don't think rich homes. I think
homes.
most homes. Yeah.
Did you have a Commodore 80?
Yeah.
84?
64. Commodore 64. Yeah, we had one. I played Jumpman on it. I loved it.
We didn't get a computer until like 96.
You didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I
Gosh,
don't know. The
I
middle
think I
class
about-
was a little different back in 82. There was a middle class.
It was about the same for us. Like it was like in the mid 90s. But do love the old dial-up sound. I think that's like the equivalent of like vinyl heads who are like, that's how music's supposed to sound.
The popping. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how the internet's
dial-up.
supposed to sound, man.
The number one song. Does anyone want to take a guess of what it was?
Oh, in 82,
Yeah.
Wham.
No, not
Oh,
right.
that's a really good guess.
Yeah.
Cyndi
Uh,
Lauper.
No. It was I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Mm.
Sure.
And then top 6 movies at the time were E.T., Rocky 3, The Toy, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Creep Show, and I thought this was pretty funny, Sophie's Choice, because I do Sophie's Choice questions. And there you go.
I love it.
You love any of those movies?
You went too fast. Did you say Big?
No, Toy.
E.T.
Toy.
And
E.T.
I love Big.
Big was a good one. Are you a Tom Hanks fan?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
but you don't like have Tom Hanks.
I'm not gonna go like, yeah, I don't have like I lost my t-shirt. I wouldn't go rebuy it, is what I'm saying.
Right.
But if one can't, if some listener sent one to me,
Then you'd wear it?
sure.
Preferably what Tom Hanks movie would you want it to be though?
Oh man, there's so many classics. Turner and Hooch. I don't know.
Oh my God.
What is the other one? Money Pit.
I think that they're making some sort of they already made some sort of kind of remake with that real pretty guy that does the stripping movie. What's his name?
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. It's not Turner and Hooch, but it's a guy and the dog.
Another buddy cop dog
I think
comedy.
he's like a soldier or something.
Can't
All
have
right.
too many of those.
Well, so the price of a Walkman at the time, any idea?
Yeah, $19.
$129
Holy
for a
shit.
Sony Walkman in 1982.
Wow.
And one of the
that was the bleeding edge of technology.
How
though.
much was
That was
that?
right.
Commodore 64?
I don't know. I bet the Commodore 64 was probably in the 300s, but I don't know. Who knows? I mean, maybe not. I mean, that Sony Walkman was, in 82, that was like, yeah, dude, I can walk around with music in my pocket.
That's
So,
true.
yeah. And then one of the big stories was 7 people died from swallowing the poisoned Tylenol, which was the reason why now food packages are secured. So there you go. There's your 1982.
Amazing. That's like the original Tide Pod challenge.
Yeah. Well, and John Belushi died, but I was going to try to keep it light, but I didn't. I threw it in.
I don't even know who he is.
Well, he was in Animal House. He was he was funny as all balls, but
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So there you go. Thanks for joining us. I did say that already. It's really a pleasure to have you on the show today. Your songs, Future Shock and Brutal Dance, were 2 of my number 1 played songs in 2021.
Amazing.
Love your music. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
So I'm really glad to have you on the show. Also, I was going to ask you, because it's been a little while, it's like maybe since like 2018, you did a collaboration with what is that
Air
called?
credits. Yep.
Air Credits, yeah.
Can't profit off something that you can't reveal. There's honor in doing the work in the field. Believe when I say, don't worry about time. That shit ain't even for real.
But was that the last recording? I know sometimes you go like a long period without recording, and
Yeah, that was the last thing we put out. I have a bunch of stuff sitting around, like a bunch of music sitting around. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of do it whimsically when I decide to put stuff out, gear up for like a whole run.
yeah.
And most recently, I've just been sort of like taking the time. I think that all the stages being shut down, COVID, and everything that's sort of happening culturally, that it was a good opportunity for me to like take a reset period. And like I'm exploring different mediums of creativity lately.
Yeah.
I've been writing a lot, like prose, and trying to like learn how to do that. It's a whole new skill set. And then focusing a lot of time on making beats and trying to kind of up my composition game. So those two things, and sort of exploring those mediums a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, aside from the down, you know, how shitty COVID was, you were able to kind of take advantage of that time, and well, that's good.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, what a good opportunity for everyone to like reset what they were doing and thinking and valuing and all that.
Yeah, for sure. You were able to, early on when we first started doing the podcast came about for us because of COVID, and we were talking to a lot of people right in like the dead of it, but we were discovering that most people were reassessing like, oh shit, I don't need to be on the road fucking, you know, 320 days out of a year anymore.
I mean, like that whole practice is like, I mean, it's a necessary thing if you want to be like I don't know. I'm not even sure what anything means anymore, to be honest. Like, I don't know. It used to be like, yeah, you just get out there and you do 100+ days a year, and that's what you do. And you are fortunate to do that. And we were, but now like a lot of time to reevaluate and reset and like think, okay, maybe there's like other ways to put it together. Yeah. And I don't know. One of the weird things about like music demonetizing is, okay, maybe they're just like, you take that as an opportunity to open up to like, there's other ways to make a life in art. And like, okay, so there's different paths you take to make a life in art. Maybe music isn't the only medium that you need to pursue in order to do that. Yeah.
I'm glad that people were able to take advantage of that, and people are figuring out new ways to put together a hustle and ways to create and also kind of venture into other creativity inside of them. I have realized we did a few shows. So I travel with my artwork, so we'll go do shows all across the country. But I did realize I do need still that interaction with the public and the people who consume my artwork. I thought, well, we don't need to do that anymore. But I did discover I was really struggling to create because I wasn't getting that immediate feedback. And whether I say it or not, I actually enjoy people telling me that they like my work and being pumped up through them. And I imagine that's probably the same for most musicians. And
for sure, I think that you have I think that with a lot of artists, especially performing ones or touring ones, there's a certain amount of extroversion necessary to do it. But it kind of requires this, like, it's a weird blend of person, because there's a lot of like introverted tendencies and extroverted like needs. And so those two things working together, like they can be really good and they can be really weird and really like, you know, counterintuitive and counteracting forces sometimes. And so, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think I've tried to embrace like the little bit of time of, instead of like every, you know, like literally my job every night was like, job, you know, and you get done, you're like, okay, cool. But it's kind of hollow and like doesn't really like actually feel you like the way you think it would. Yeah. And so I've been trying to, like, the last couple of years, like also work on that stuff about myself. That's like, oh, okay, like trying to find a little more validation and stuff through like the quiet, just me time making stuff. It's harder.
Yeah, no, it really is. But it's also it's a builder. It does build you up to be even a better person. So, well, I'm glad that you've taken advantage of that as well. All right, well, I'm going to start the timer and get drawing on your drawing. So the timer is just to give us the time, so I don't, you know, take up all your time and you know, give me some direction to kind of stay within that. There's times where we've gone longer. There's times where, well, we never really go shorter, but the focus is to try to do that. It's not a rule or anything. No one dies if we go over.
Let's hope.
What are you drawing?
This up for all of us.
So I'm going to be drawing a red panda because you said I don't know, maybe a red panda, which was funny because right after you said that, I had just happened to turn on my TV and there was like a commercial for some new red panda movie. I think it's a Disney movie or something. I don't know. It was weird. It was kind of kismet.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask, is there a particular reason why a red panda?
Oh, you know, just Google it. Like, that's a weird, adorable, strange looking animal. And the first time I saw one, I was like, that is such a strange cat dog.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bear.
Adorable.
Oh, it's cute.
I think they probably labeled it a bear a little earlier than, like, then they realized that there
Right
was
before
a
they
whole other
discovered
planet.
what North American bears look like.
I think so. Because I think that's why they call, what's the giant? Is it a giant panda?
Mhm.
Yeah. But I don't know. Okay, cool. So yeah, I started doing where I sketch it out kind of before I talk to you, because I've realized that's sort of the boring part, the sketch out. So now I'll start bringing it to life. I did hear, I don't know how long ago, I'd heard you, maybe it was right when the pandemic was happening or something, but you were in an interview and you were talking about, I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan, but you were talking about that you were just kind of listening to a lot of Bruce Lee or watched his interview or something. And you mentioned his comment about flowing like water. So that's why I've kind of done this whole like red panda and then the flow of water here going on. But my shit gets weird when I start drawing, so it could even end up a little weirder, but
Amazing.
That is not blood and stuff. That's water.
I love it. That's going to be really cool. Yeah, the Dao Ji Kundo, I read that and I was like, I don't know why I was on a Bruce Lee kick, but I was. And I was like, this guy is pretty incredible.
Yeah, he is. I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee. I tattooed him on my leg when I was like 16 years old. And so but I've been a huge fan of his for a long time. And then when I watched Quentin Tarantino's movie, Hollywood, what was that? Anyway, Bruce Lee gets his ass kicked by Brad Pitt.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of bummed, but I get it. Like it was kind of funny, like an alternate universe, but
classic revisionist history stuff.
Right. All right. So you're an Andrew, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever go by or Andy or Drew?
Yeah, I tried them all. I tried them all. And I've been Sims since I was in kindergarten, because in gym class, the gym teacher was like, how many of you are there? Because there was like 3 different white boys named Andrew in there. He was like, how many of you are there? You're going to be Sims. I was like, okay. And so it's been Sims. And then I tried all the iterations of Andy, Drew. Drew was a short-lived thing. That was maybe a month where I was kind of tested that out. That didn't fit. And then Andrew, because it's very sophisticated and cool.
Sophisticated. I have found no one, like most of the people, because I was looking them up, I have found that most people most Andrews don't like the Drew.
Yeah. I don't know. Like most grown men don't like the bowl cut.
but if you can
if it works for you, I'm not here to tell you what to cook.
But so are all, like your closest friends and family, they call you Sims too, or?
Well, I mean, not my family, right. But yeah, like, people I date, whatever. Everyone's called me Sims forever. It's just easier.
You're not offended, like you have tried Drew and you have tried Andy, because what I'm going to do is I want to do some Sophie's Choices with Andy's or Drew's, because I was trying to think of some. Okay. And that's what I do on the podcast. I do these Sophie's Choices. I'll give you.
But remind me of what that is.
So Sophie's Choices, there's 2 things. I'll give you 2 things and you just pick one of them. So I did want to do a couple of Andrews, Andy's, and I think I have one Drew. Okay. Andrew Dice Clay or Andrew Garfield?
I'm going Garfield, I guess.
Was he Spider-Man, right? He was.
Yeah. No knock on either of Andrew Garfield, but he's just sort of innocuous.
Yeah.
Dice Clay, though, I can't really get behind Dice Clay. That's not my type of fella.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, that's a very certain.
I'm 9.999% sure not a single word that motherfucker's ever said has held up to the.
I was just gonna say, I wonder if he's still touring, and if he's still doing the same kind of comedy.
I'm sure he's hitting the casino scene.
He probably.
Oh my God. 2011. I had an agent who hit me up. I had an agent at the time who hit me up, and she was like, okay, the casino they got Coolio coming and they want you to open up, and like, here's some money. And it was like, for me at that time, it was like a pile of money.
Right.
All things relative. It's not a huge pile, but I was like, oh shit. And then I just really hammed and hawed about it. I was like, I can't do the casino tour just yet. Like, I can't be with Coolio at the casino just yet.
So you didn't do it?
I didn't. I passed on it.
Oh,
stupid move. I could have put that right into Tesla or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess. Oh, wow. So what'd you say? That was 2011?
Yeah.
Was it anything even more specific of why you didn't want to do it, or you just didn't? It
It was
wasn't.
like a trying to aim like the optics of my career,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was stupid.
Yeah, but the thing is you never realize that it's only when as you get older and you start realizing those things. That's why we were given those opportunities, and then you probably made the right choice. Who knows?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I don't like look back on any of that kind of stuff with like, fuck.
But it could have been fun.
Yeah, it would have been a fantastic voyage.
You would be on the state fair tours, though.
God,
That was the trajectory from the casino.
Yes.
I think
Everybody ends up there at some point.
that was the missed
if
bus.
you end up there, you need to end up there on the other side of the arc.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, totally.
you don't just jump to state fair.
So,
no.
Casino.
Oh, you mean begin there, right? Yeah, we saw Carrot Top at a state fair once, and I swear to God, I never laughed so hard in my life. That dude's funny. I know he takes a lot of block, but that dude's funny and he's quite clever. What about this one? Andy Richter or Andy Samberg?
Samberg.
Oh, nice. I'm a huge Andy Richter fan, but yeah, they're both funny.
Richter's great too. I love him in Arrested Development, especially. He's like out of this world.
That dude's really funny, man. He doesn't get enough credit. He doesn't get the credit.
Totally right. He was great on Conan, but like Sandberg had a moment in the sun that was just like too bright. It was undeniable. That Lonely Island era was like, I was a fan of that. I know that's not probably a popular thing. That's like probably saying like, I like Will Ferrell movies, which I do. So hate me on that.
That's okay.
That's okay. What about Andy Dick or Andy Garcia?
Oh, Andy Garcia is the like he was in like mob movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going Garcia, I guess.
Yeah, he's in a really good movie called Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. Are you a movie fan?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree.
Okay.
You know, I'm not a buff.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you a Fellini, but
well, I am a movie buff and I don't know any Fellini. I'm a different kind of, yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. What about Andy Kaufman or Andy Warhol?
Oh, that's a good one. I guess I would go Warhol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kaufman is an incredible, like, I don't know, concept, but so is Warhol. They're both kind of performance artists and both lords of the finesse.
Yeah, and committing. Have you ever watched like old Kaufman videos, like even him on like or when he gets body slammed by, was it Andre the Giant?
I've seen like some of when he decided to turn heel in wrestling, and then some of those like David Letterman type performances he was doing.
He makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why I'm going with the known quantity of like, oh, he makes cool art and is a bit of a, I don't know. He's a character too.
Yeah, well, he definitely is. But I would say he maybe is. I guess he was maybe someone who discovered Basquiat. And I'm a huge Basquiat fan. But
yeah, they're friends, or I don't know about who.
Yeah,
there was like that whole like Chelsea, New York situation.
Well, all right. So finally, let's go. We'll move from this, but I'll go with a negative one. Which one ruins the name of Andrew more, Prince Andrew or Andrew Cuomo?
Oh, Prince Andrew, because of the recent. I mean, both bad.
Wait, but Andrew, isn't he the one who married the American girl?
Wait, Prince Andrew?
No, Prince Andrew's the Epstein one.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. No, Prince Harry seems incredible.
Like, yeah. Prince Harry and Merkel are the one that moved to the U.S.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could you consider yourself a fan of like WWF, not WWF, WWE wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, it was WWF for me. You know, some of those old, like, gosh, Jimmy Superfly Snuka and the Bushwhackers and the Legion of Doom, and then maybe like even as I got a little older with like Rey Mysterio and gosh, what's his name, Eddie Guerrero, and it's that era of WWF, or maybe it was WCW, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I kind of stopped watching wrestling like at 10, maybe 12.
Yeah, I feel like and not saying anything against people who still love it, but it felt very much, I was way into it around that time as well. And then sort of checked out of it. You said Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Yeah, my cousin was Superfly Snuka's tag team partner when they were the Samoan. What were they called? I can't remember what they called. He was the Volcano Kid. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I used to love it. I don't care for it all that much anymore, but I get it. I think.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like one of the apertures for like soap opera drama via the lens of toxic masculinity. Like it's like one of the only things that fellas have to like talk about their feelings,
right?
Is pro wrestling. So it's always struck me as that it's like, oh, it's like for dudes who really love soap operas that just can't admit that they like stories and feelings and drama, and instead they're like, no, but he's kicking his ass now. So we can stop talking about feelings. Yeah, that's the thing of all sports, though, right? Like people love all the drama associated with like the NFL and the NBA and storylines.
Yeah,
which I think is kind of beautiful. It's all that's good. There's story to everything.
Well, you're Minnesota. Are you still in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you've had some teams to root for.
When?
Were you well, that's true, but I mean, so I'm from Utah, so I've had the Jazz my whole life, but I don't have an NFL team, so I was a Packers fan, so I hated the Vikings.
Yeah.
But
Evil Empire.
Yeah, but there were some great games between those two, between the Packers and Vikings.
For sure. There's a great place in are you in Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a great place that Will and Lance own. What is it called?
Urban Lounge. Yeah, fantastic.
And that picture of Malone that's up there is like there's like an oil painting of Karl Malone that the first time I saw it, I was like, well, I love this place. Who owns it?
Well, are you a Timberwolves fan?
Yeah.
That was you stuck with them. I mean, you've watched them since you were
Matter of fact, the last show I played was Shredders at the halftime show. That was like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Oh shit! Awesome. Yeah. So real quick on wrestling. So since you were a fan of wrestling, I was thinking about this. Which wrestling names would you rather go with? Would you rather be Macho Man Andy Savage or Andrew the Giant?
I like Andy Savage. I mean, that's great because you can also just like, I feel like that's the door from wrestling to like the quick pivot to comedy. You just get rid of Macho Man there, and like you can go see Andy Savage do his stand-up set anytime.
Right after his wrestling match, or he does a set right when he gets up in the ring.
Or just like, like the back injuries and I got tired of all the chair.
I'm sure. Yeah, I have several cousins who were in the WWF, and yeah, they the conversations and the things that were going down at that time. They have a lot of good stories to tell.
I have several cousins who were in the WWF. Is like, so every week they say that every week you hear a sentence that's like unique, that has perhaps never been uttered in all of human history. I feel like that's the one. I've never heard it.
What I always find interesting, so I'm half Samoan and I'm half Dutch, but one of the wrestlers was on my Samoan side and the other was on my Dutch side, and he always played the German, the Soviet. Yeah, he was the Soviet wrestler because he's a real big, Dutch
big
dude,
blonde guy.
Yeah, his character was always like the Soviet. I can't remember what his name
Cold
was.
War kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a list of? Oh, I wanted to say. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. I'm drinking this tea, and I just recently stopped drinking alcohol for a while. So I used to have a glass of wine when I'd have these discussions. It made it easier for me, but now I'm drinking tea and I'm sorry.
Don't sweat. A lot of wide berth here. A lot of margin for error. All good.
You had mentioned that Shredders. I mentioned in the intro that like what you did with Shredders, and that I loved that. I loved Shredders. I'm huge Thanks, fan. Man. I also did want to say I never wear like a shirt gear who I'm talking with. It's happened once when I was talking to Blockhead. I was wearing an Aesop Rock hoodie, their Garbology album. but I didn't get time to change because I like to wear shirts or gear from other artists, you know, just to because I'm a hip hop fan, but
grateful.
I'm flattered. Yeah. And everyone do tree.net/stores where you can get beautifully modeled hoodie. It's like a thin t-shirt, perfect for like spring time occasions.
You know, so on the site, and I saw that Des had posted something about it. This was like a month ago, but it was like a huge sale. And fuck, man, I slapped up so much gear for like with a great price. It was fucking awesome. I got a bunch of shit, a bunch of vinyl. I don't know any of your vinyl though. Do you have?
It was on sale.
Oh, then maybe I did get it. No, because I didn't. I don't know. Shit. I don't know if they had. I think your vinyl.
Oh yeah, mine's at full price. Yeah, they don't ever. I don't.
No, I didn't think there was any for sale. Is there some still in stock? Because if there is, then I definitely
should be. I don't know. Otherwise, we both have an email to send to Beak, I think.
Yeah, because I was just like dropping shit in the cart, like, that one. Yep, I'll take that. So, but I probably did because I haven't even opened any of those still.
Amazing.
Okay, I fucking went off the rails. I'm sorry. I did want to know if you have a favorite. Like if you have favorite hip hop artists, whether it's old or new, and if you could share a couple of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always bad at answering this question because I just have what's like readily accessible in my mind right now. And anytime I'm listening to a record or speaking to someone, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's my fucking favorite of all time.
Sound like me.
Generally answer like Outkast, Aesop Rock. I love like, gosh, who else is like actual favorites? I think like early Nas is actual favorite of mine. Like the records that had the most impact on me is usually what I go back to. But I think from a creativity standpoint, I think that Outkast is like one of the most unrivaled, envelope pushing, boundary pushing duos. And especially I think that like a nice balance to each other. And Andre is like one of the most imaginative lyricists, maybe people of all time.
Yeah. Of those two, do you find that you gravitate more to Andre than to Big Boy?
Oh yeah, 100%. But I do really enjoy like the balance that Big Boy will bring to a project, you know? And I think that that's like, I think that's where like, let's say a Run the Jewels type of project like really shines out to me is like, there's just really nice balance between these two voices, each with like a powerful little moment, but when they kind of combine, it keeps it fresh and keeps the whole thing moving.
Yeah, and there's a difference with Kate. Like that's why I love group things. That's like I've always loved Shredders or Four Fists or but like I like the different cadences, the different the octaves as well. Like I'm a huge fan of Hail Mary Mallon. I'm sad to see that's never going to happen again. But I like that. I don't know. I was just tacking on to what you were saying. Oh, I don't know if I liked Outkast together, Big Boy and Andre, but I don't think I've ever bought just a straight Big Boy solo thing, but nothing against him, but I'm a huge fan of Andre.
Totally. I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
Like the Love Below and Speaker Box, that was maybe the album. And both, like, neither of those albums were particularly like perfect, right? Like those two solo albums, neither of them were particularly perfect, but both had a bunch of really good songs on them.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but I read an interviewer, I can't remember who was interviewing, but it was Andre, and he said he's a shit. He said, I'm a whack rapper and I don't ever want to make music again. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're the greatest of all time.
Yeah, blew me away.
I mean, yeah, it's so funny too when he pops up on the random thing like that James Blake song a couple of years ago.
Yeah. And
I was just like, what the fuck? This guy just comes out and just beats everyone.
Is there anyone like any of the new kind of hip hop out there that you like?
I mean, I don't want to say no to that because I know there is, but when it comes to like who's your favorite of the new guys, I don't have a fast answer to that.
Yeah.
I think there's like songs and stuff that I like from a lot of different artists, but there's not necessarily like I haven't like dug in on anyone in particular and said like, okay, I'm going all in on TK or whatever.
Do you think that digging in thing happens when you're younger, when you're kind of like figuring out the music?
Yeah, I read a thing that was like, by the time you're like 30, like the music that you're going to listen to the rest of your life is pretty much like already locked in. And that made me feel bad. And I was like, I'm not fucking going to be like that. Like,
right.
But
well, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Cause I like, there's a lot of new songs and new music out there that I like, but I couldn't tell you who sings it. Like, I don't know who the rapper is, but I hear it and I'm like, oh, I fucking love this.
I just heard a new YG song today that was great. I know he's not a new guy, but I was very like blown away by how like weird the cadences are and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, I don't know. I like some of the Playboi Carti stuff because of how insane his cadences get, but it's not music that I would necessarily like go put on for myself.
Right. Yeah, that I feel bad, but like that's the music that I'll mostly I'll stream the new music. I like to buy vinyl from all the old hits that are now
sure
and stuff.
Yeah, that have vinyl.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, when are you at your happiest?
Oh, I don't. That's a big question.
Yeah. Or if you don't even have to.
There's a lot of different instances of that. There's a lot of different iterations I can give you of that. But like, honestly, like one of the most unique feelings that I ever experienced is like, generally speaking, I would go to the studio in the morning, like, in the basement of my house. And I just start by whatever I'm going to do with my process today. And sometimes that's like developing a little bit of a new skill and practicing that for a while. So I'll DJ or I'll make a beat with just like weird knobby external boxes or something, just get the creative juices flowing. And then I'll sit down and start like, okay, what's my work going to be today? And so whatever that process is, and eventually it's like comes to, I have to write a song now. And one of the best feelings is going through a whole day of the process and having those moments of like, I don't know, like there's impedances and you have to push through all that. And you push through all of it and you make your song. And now you're a little like, you're in your cups now because you drank a couple of too many whiskeys and it's like now 10 o'clock or whatever, or 11 o'clock. And the music's like fucking absolutely like cranking in your place. And you have this demo that is like, you're really happy with at the moment, and you're like, I just feel like shit, I have something really cool that came out of the ether that didn't exist like hours ago. And now I have this thing that's just my thing. And I'm like enjoying the absolute shit out of it. It's loud and like I'm smiling. That's like a unique moment of like pure happiness because it's just purely connected to process and creation and not all the other things that make the work of art or like the business of art can be kind of a joyless, like there's a lot of things that suck the joy out of that. But the actual creation of the thing and celebration of the processes.
So I take it you're more of a fan of the process than the final result.
Oh, I'd rather sit in the studio and make shit all day than like put a tweet out or like shoot the album cover or shoot a video or like any of that stuff. I don't want to do any of that stuff particularly. Like I would rather just make shit. That's my happy place. Doing the other stuff where like other people's opinions get involved, that's when it becomes like, I don't know, it just like loses there's like less luster. It's like, fuck, now this is like not about creating something that someone might enjoy and instead is now subject to opinion. And I don't give a shit about the opinion of someone else. I just made it for myself and someone else to enjoy. So yeah, I try to, if I was like, maybe had a little bit bigger economy around the music that I make, I would put up bigger, thicker walls between me and that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think that's where you find someone like Andre, who's very holed up in that process. And maybe that skews some of his opinions about what he thinks he is.
Yeah. Well, it is nice to be able to get to a place where you make, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I feel like some people at the beginning sort of give up that to kind of, I guess you, for the lack of a better term, like sell out so that they can later on make what they really love to do.
Totally. Or like there's just a lot of different people with a lot of different kind of bits of their personality, and those things can develop over time or fall back over time or whatever. But I think that everyone likes to be applauded and clapped at and celebrated. And I think that especially with younger people, like that part becomes attractive. And the older I got, and I just kind of fell away from that stuff and wanted it less.
Yeah, I definitely aging. You when you get as you get older, you realize what I think you start to realize what is actually the most important part. But it sounds. I mean, you've been making music pretty. What your parents were musicians, right?
Yeah, but like they always like had whatever. Like when I was born, my dad was like driving cabs and playing guitar and whatever, and then he he worked in advertising and whatever, and then like my mom was like a musician and like a costume designer and whatever, and like so just like a lot of weird. And my dad was always like making weird shit around the house, like building things, and so it was just a lot of art in general around the house and a lot of different ways of expressing it and applying it, but never total specialist, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you playing? You were playing. So you not like an instrument, or do you play any instruments?
Yeah, I play instruments poorly.
Right.
Like I couldn't be in a band. Like no one would.
Can you pick up a guitar and play it around a campfire?
I can play some songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Weezer maybe, or something real easy.
Right.
four chord power chord stuff.
Well, it's awesome that shit. What did I
Something about instruments
yeah.
playing around the
Doesn't
campfire.
matter. I'll find it later. This happens to me quite a bit. I'll start to say something, and
that also happens with age, I hear.
It does, man. It's
I just was gonna remember it, but I want it less.
Yeah, then I realized, especially during the podcast, I can't just try to figure it out. I gotta just move on.
Oh yeah, because in real life he'll spend all day trying to figure out one word.
Yeah, it sucks. Did you have a favorite cartoon when you were growing up?
Yeah, it was probably He-Man when I was like little. And then like I loved the Thundercats, and I also loved what was my favorite thing when I was a little dude was Ultraman. Do you remember Ultraman? Mm-hmm. It was not a cartoon, it was like a Japanese, like it was like a Godzilla type thing. And I'm talking very little, like this is 3, 4, 5 years old.
Yeah.
These are like my favorite shows at that time.
Ultraman, awesome. Did you ever see a show called because you said Thunder? Oh, did you ever see the show Brave Star?
Oh,
the guy. He was like a Native American guy, and he had his horse talked and carried a gun, a 30-30. His horse was called 30-30. It was very much like around the same time.
Like a Hanna-Barbera era.
It was a Hanna-Barbera show, actually. Yeah,
I'm sure I've seen it. But
that one used to be my favorite. Well, only because I liked the drawing, the animation. Did you ever? Do you have any He-Man figurines, or is that not your?
No, I mean, I probably had a few. I'm sure I had Skeletor. I've always like rooted for the bad guys. And
you did?
Yeah, not necessarily rooted for. I just wanted their figurines.
Oh yeah, because they were a little cooler, like Snake Eyes.
They looked way cooler. It was just like, oh, sick.
Yeah. Hey, here's a Sophie's choice: Bjork or Beyonce.
Oh, I hate this one.
Are you not a fan of either?
No, I'm a big fan of both, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
But I would go. I guess I'd go with Bjork.
Oh, cool.
Because she's been near and dear for so long. It really helped me through being 14 on my skateboard and trying to figure out how to talk to a girl.
Did you find that you had an attraction to someone like Bjork?
Yeah.
Any of them. Mysterious. It's like she was mysterious.
Yeah, I love Bjork.
Yeah.
And she's like really the blueprint for a lot of like, I don't know, Lady Gaga and cool artists of this day.
Is she?
Well,
I think so, at least maybe from a fashion standpoint.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Not musically so much, but like I think that like who she is, like I don't know.
Would Lady Gaga have gotten as much shit if she wore a swan wrapped around her?
Well, I think she did, but I think Sims is right. She did wear something that was.
Like it was like a meat dress or something.
Yeah, it was made out of was made out of beef, like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a.
But you know, some people got to clear cut the woods with the machete, and then some people just can walk through it and get whacked with the little sticks. And then after that, everyone's wearing a meat dress. You know, doing the TikTok dance to it with the meat dress on.
Well, what about this one? Cake or corn?
Cake.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the foods?
Yeah. What about the foods?
Cake. Yeah, I live in Minnesota. There's so much fucking corn here, both varieties.
Right.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't take the County Fair Act because you'd be eating a lot of corn.
Opening for as well.
Opening for corn while eating a corn. All the different variations of corn. Did you play sports as a kid at all?
I mean, as a little guy,
right.
And then I kind of gave them up as like probably around 10 or 12 or whatever. And then I started skateboarding.
Yeah. Skateboarding sort of.
Skateboarding and bands and all that stuff was like around 12.
I wonder if that's a common trajectory for creatives.
I think so.
To just kind of drop the team sports and then go skate.
Yeah. Were you doing it on your own?
I would imagine. I mean, there's a lot of skateboarding. I mean, skateboarding is like that was like my big window into like music, counterculture music, skateboarding tapes, right? Like those tapes were like, oh, okay. Or drum and bass even like, okay, what is this weird song? Like, oh, this is a guy named Goldie, as you read in the credits of the tape. And then you like take the bus over to the record store and you're like, okay. And you're like this little idiot kid with $8. And you're like, okay, I heard of this guy named Goldie.
That's right.
Like, any Goldie? And they're like, yeah, you want Goldie? Okay. And then here's some other people on the label. And you learn so much in that, like the old school way of discovery.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask. Oh, sorry.
I feel like it's sad because I think that's gone.
That's what I was going to ask.
I think that kids aren't, the culture, whatever, like skate culture or whatever culture doesn't revolve around the album, whatever album comes out right now. It's just a plethora of songs, maybe 10 seconds worth on TikTok, and maybe you go download the song. But that drive to like, okay, I can't wait to hear what else is on this album. I got to save up my money, you know, might not be able to get that clear grip tape instead, and I gotta go get this tape. And I feel like
and you remember like when you would buy an album and it, like the first pass through, you're like, this album kind of sucks, and you're like, well, but you know, this was my album for the month, so I'm going to listen to the shit out of this album. And then sometimes by the third time you're like, this is a great album. That was Lab Cab in California for me.
Oh my god,
first time through that album I was like, I don't know,
right?
And then by the third or fourth time I was like, this is great. Love it.
Yeah. We talk about that album quite a bit on this podcast. It comes up quite a bit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's much maligned. It's a
yeah. Well, Dosman had a really good comment about it. He was saying that was their album. He felt like Bizarre Ride was the like kind of like their I can't remember what he was saying. It was something really interesting. But when you were talking about, the discovery of music is definitely changed. Like when you did discover that music on a like some skater who had it playing during his session, and you're like, oh, that fucking song's awesome. You'd go discover that and find that. It was a lot harder to discover it. But I don't want to play the old people, because maybe there's discovery, like the kids see a song on TikTok and they discover it that way.
And like the idea that like information and access to cool thoughts should be more governed and harder to find,
right?
Is like that's like the sort of logic that follows, like, we used to have to work really hard for our shit and And I think what we want is credit that we had to dig really hard. Right. So like the idea that like information and, you know, fuck, for a kid that lives in like the middle of Wyoming who doesn't have a local skate shop or a local record store or whatever, to be able to like, they can find whatever piece of culture they want to find and like learn from and maybe participate in.
There is just playing, I guess, devil's advocate. I don't know. The downside of that though is skate shops now in this generation have kind of like fucking gone away.
It's tough. And so have record stores, and so have like a lot of counterculture hubs. And, you know, a lot of them are like, I don't know, it's a weird time in like art, for money and art, capitalism and art existing together. But I think that that's maybe an always thing. I guess the interesting pursuit in like the 2020s will be like, how do we make capitalism and culture exist in a way that's not just so like extractive.
Right.
You know, there's a cool neighborhood that artists live in because capitalism left, right? Like abandoned warehouses. Capitalism left this place because whatever industry is gone. So artists move in and they start creating culture.
And then the capitalists come
capitalists are like, they want to come in because, hey, capitalism is just people at the end of the day.
Right.
And people come in, rents go higher, blah, blah, blah. And then like, because they want to be a part of the art and culture, but capitalism on its like, I don't know, at its like ugly parts, not its, it's just people parts, is kind of an extractive thing, and it forces the artist out because rents raise and yada yada. Right. So we got to find a cool way for, that's the challenge of the 2020s, I think, is a way to like make art worthwhile in a monetary way to people, like acknowledge that it's more than just ephemera.
Well, and I've been trying to stay away from the conversation because people always try to claim that is the NFT world, which I'm not a fan of. But do you feel like that's what maybe they're going to,
I mean, maybe, okay. Or maybe it's Beanie Baby. Like maybe NFTs are Beanie Babies, you know, like
we have a bunch of Beanie Babies that our kids get a new one every year for Christmas that her grandma left.
I mean, amazing. And like, yeah, I hope that's like the retirement account for someone. It very well could be.
Yeah.
I feel like NFT, just for me, the NFT is just social. It's more social media in my mind. Like it's just, I don't know.
Or maybe like, maybe like we're just past the age of like the vision into what the usefulness of it is. Cause like, okay, we're entering this domain where we are blending physical and digital spaces, and we need new ways to adorn those spaces. The idea of like buying property in the metaverse is not compelling to me.
Is that a real thing?
but you know, if that's the investment vehicle of the future, cool, man. Like, and if artists can get paid via that, cool.
Okay, yeah, I did say I was gonna try to stay away from being like, this new shit's stupid. I like your attitude to that. I am gonna try to. I'll constantly been trying to be like, I'm not gonna be that dude.
There's no point in being like, there's no point in being like walled off to shit. There's a definite point to being realistic about like, okay, that sounds like a whole lot of bullshit to me, but what do I know? That's the only real thing that I'm getting with age is like, I got nothing for you. I got so much less to give you as far as like my opinion about how a thing works. I don't fucking know. When I was 20, I had a real good idea of how everything fucking worked.
I know. And yeah, I guess, and you start getting a little more open of realizing like it doesn't matter that I don't know what's happening. Maybe
I'm not going to be a crypto millionaire, but I hope that there's many of them. You know, that's great. Well,
so I have these. There are 3 staple things that I like to do on the show before time runs out. Looks like about 10 more minutes. So one of them is a random, a useless factoid that I'll provide you with. And so this useless knowledge is, I'll form it in a question. Do you guys know where Michael Jackson got the line, "Mama say, mama sa, mama kusa"?
I'm gonna pass. Go ahead.
So anyway, so it came from Manu Dibango's 1972 Afro funk classic. It's called Sol Makusa. Mama say, mama sa, mama kusa. My aunt's name is Mongasa. And so anytime I sing that song when I was a kid, I was like, "Mama say, mama sa, mama kusa." I don't know. There's your useless knowledge. It came from a song, and it's "Mama say, mama sa, mama kusa." There you go. Rihanna also used it in "Don't Stop the Music" 2007.
The same sample.
Yeah. Are you into comedy or comedians?
Yeah, love them.
Yeah. Who do you have a favorite stand-up comic?
At the moment, I'd say Julio Torres.
Oh, yeah. Are you a Sarah Silverman fan at all?
I haven't seen any like thing for, I don't know, 10 years. But she's funny.
Sarah Silverman fan. Here's Sophie's choice. The word gnarly or grody?
Gnarly.
Yeah, both those words came out in 1982. Yeah, they were huge words in 82, so that's why I brought them up.
Gnarly.
Well, here's something else from that time from the 80s. The TV show Coach or Cheers?
Yeah, Cheers, I would say.
Okay. Did you ever watch Coach?
Yeah, it didn't really do it for me, I
Oh,
think,
okay.
at the time. But I was a young guy. I think my mom maybe liked Coach.
Yeah, I like Dauber was this big dopey guy on the show, and Craig T. Nielsen was in it. I was like that show. What about Tori Amos or John Stamos?
Oh, I don't know. I guess Tori Amos. Even though I couldn't name a Tori Amos song, I'm not a Stamos stan.
You're not a Stamos fan?
I'm not a Stamos stan. No.
Hey, do you have any good hotel horror stories from out on the road?
Yeah. Which one do you want first?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'll give you like this one is it's long, but it's gross. It's grody. We were going to Scribble Jam like in 2005. So whatever. This is just old people stories for old people who
Good.
care.
Is Scribble Jam always in
Everyone's-
Ohio?
Yeah, it was in Cincinnati, right? And so we I don't know, we were broke as all get out. And it's 2003 or something like this, right? And we're broke as all get out going to Scribble Jam, and we like rented a van, which was like, I don't know how we'll pay for this. It was like 13 of us in the van, whatever. And I think the van was like $400, and we're like, well, we're gonna have to sell some CDs when we get out there because we do not have enough money for gas on the way back, right? Like this kind of, and legitimately had to sell a bunch of CDs at Scribble Jam in order to pay for our gas back. We're driving, we get to Ohio, like pull down Vine Street, and it's like, oh, it's a thing, it's fun, whatever. We kind of like walk around. Then we get, oh shit, there's a hotel for $14. Amazing. We should stay at that. And so we pull up, park the car and or the van, and there's like a cutlass in front of us with like TVs in the headrest, just like blasting pornography through the TVs and like the subs and sound system or whatever. It's like just blasting porno. And we were like, okay, well, here we go. Walk into the hotel or whatever, and there's some fellas in front of us, like whatever, there's gonna be some times happening here. And before he like checks out with his companions, he's like, are there like condoms here? And the guy's like, yeah, in the third floor vending machine next to the Newports. He's like, the vending machine upstairs, just Newports, just condoms in this $14 hotel. Anyway, we get in there and like park the van in the back and like back it up to the wall, get out, and then there's this like insane, like there's like kind of woods in this little parking lot behind us. Not woods per se, but a patch of trees. And there's this like whistle communication from between them, like, and it's like, presumably crackheads in the bushes kind of whistling to each other in some kind of like code or whatever. And we were like, this is fine. This seems fine. Get up into the room, and everyone's kind of tired because we drove from Minnesota to Cincinnati that day. And like first thing, like taking off your boots or shoes or whatever, and like sat down in the carpet, and it's like just this like foamy water goes over your toes. Look on the mattress, there's like a knife rip in the mattress and blood all over it.
Oh my God.
I had to go down there and I was like, hey, the room's lovely. It's lovely, by the way, but like the sheets are dirty. Is there maybe a different room or whatever? Yeah. And so we had to switch out, and we did switch out. The next room was still water all over the floor and whatnot. Yeah, it was like 13 people, hoods on, the whole like sleep like this.
Yeah.
That night. Yeah, that's like an early hotel horror story.
Well, $14 too. I mean, sometimes you're willing to deal with.
That's only 2 CDs.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Was that early on in your like traveling, like touring?
Yeah,
days?
2003 was like the very, very beginning of it all. Maybe that was even 2004.
It was so hard then too, because I remember, well, I was recently thinking, how did we try to get hotel rooms? We had to look in the phone book, like to try to find them in advance. I guess it was common to just drive up and be like, you have a room, and no vacancy signs.
Yeah, really. Like there was no smartphone action at the time. So you just pull up like, hey.
Also, back in those days, we were willing to stay at like, not to knock it, but
We
Motel
didn't know.
6s and stuff. Like we won't now, but Yeah.
No, now you're going 4 seasons minimum.
Yeah. You know what? Also, early on in your career, you don't realize, but like a good night's sleep in a comfortable bed, some quiet separation, like that goes a long way, especially when you're on tour.
For sure. It's those little like, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. When you're when you're first going on tour, you're kind of living off of the adrenaline of like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're on tour. I'll sleep in the van.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, totally. Totally.
We have a friend who, and I'm sure it's fine, but he always stays at the Red Roof Inn.
Yeah.
And I'm always concerned for him. Like, he's fine. So
yeah, he's still alive. I don't know though. He may turn. I mean, yeah. Meanwhile, we always stay at the nicer ones now. Meanwhile, in 2020, I got bed bugs twice. I shouldn't announce that, but oh my god, they're
nice hotels.
Yeah,
from, like decent ones, not fancy ones, but
like a Radisson type or something.
No, like
Hilton owned.
Hilton.
Yeah.
Owned. That's where I got my first one. And
one was Hilton, I think, and one was a Marriott.
It's gnarly. They chewed me up, and my neck was all swollen, and my arms were swollen. It was awful.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
well, your story trumps mine.
Well,
no. I mean, that's a terror of mine.
I noticed, just a pro tip out there that might work for people, is both of those rooms smelled musty like a cigarette. So if you walk into a room and you're like, "Ew, was someone smoking in here?" Maybe it's bed bugs.
Yeah.
And just get another room.
Those little fuckers love to smoke.
I don't know. They just
they
just smell. There was a musty smell in both of those rooms.
Yo, I told the front desk, and I'm showing her my neck and stuff. And she's saying like, "Are you sure?" They send the security guy over, and and they're fucking crawling on the bed.
This one was infested. Luckily, he's allergic, because a lot of people don't show the
and then you
bites.
travel with them shits in your clothes, and then they come home and then you're in our house. Now you have to burn your house down.
Yes, he's instantly allergic. So we bagged up all our shit in
Yeah,
garbage bag.
for most people, usually when you get bitten by bed bugs. Yeah, you don't notice them for a few days. So then you're transporting them and you're infesting them. That's how it happens. But yeah, just that night. Yeah, it was awful. All right, here's another one of my staples, a trivia question. Okay.
Move on.
Yeah. You get to pick if you an easy, medium, hard, or impossible.
What is the charity? Like, who's going to receive the, how bad is the L going to be? I'll take a medium one because I'm so bad at trivia.
Well, you can take it on, almost nobody ever gets them. When they go medium, though, you do.
Let's go medium.
We did that one. What the hell? All right, here we go. Who did Marilyn Monroe play in Some Like It Hot? Oh, God, I don't think I would have known that.
Next question.
Yeah, okay. I'll switch. The answer is sugarcane. Here we go. Which poisonous plant takes its name from the Italian for beautiful woman? Also, she's a porn star.
Beautiful woman.
An Italian.
Like, ciao Bella, like Belladonna.
Yes,
Belladonna.
there you go. Belladonna. Ding, ding, ding. All right.
Ciao Bella.
Ciao Bella.
That's my favorite bit from Arrested Development too. Is when Michael and his dad are like, ciao Bella.
I think my kids would like that show. It's been a long time since I seen it. Yeah, I think they. I saw this question once somewhere, so I figured I'd ask you because I think you might have the answer to it. I don't know. You seem like someone who might have an answer or something like this. But do mermaids have live babies or do they lay eggs?
I'm trying to figure out the anatomy of a mermaid.
I mean, they got the most from like waist down is fishtail.
It's all fin, yeah. So it have to be eggs, right? It'd have to be eggs. They have
Dolphins don't have.
Yeah, but that's true. Dolphins don't have.
They have to break the eggs out. Oh, that's right. Dolphins.
They don't have egg. They don't. They're mammals.
Yeah.
Does the dolphin when a dolphin gives birth?
Mermaid is a mammal, so a mermaid would be.
I don't know. What's your answer? Because I don't know.
It's live birth baby because a mermaid is a mammal.
Well, there you hear it. Sim says it's live birth baby. So.
I agree.
I agree too. I'm going to go with that.
I love that. We're all in alignment here.
Do you ever cry when you're watching movies?
Yeah, I'm a baby. I'll cry at anything.
Yeah.
I'm a real emotional type. My partner, she's just like, she's real sensitive and sweet and nice, whatever, but she does not get moved by these types of things. I'm like, isn't that a nice commercial for Plus? Isn't that nice?
Do you drink a lot of soy milk?
Yeah, I'm on that oat now. Maybe the oats got even more cries.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Because we're on oats. But when we used to be total soys, like I would find I would just be sitting there and I'd just start crying.
Are you dead ass? You really think that there's enough estrogen in soy that it altered your mood?
My wife thinks so. Yeah. I mean, I'm an emotional and sensitive guy, but like seriously, I don't just like out of nowhere just start crying, and it was happening quite a bit.
Oh Jesus!
Fortunately, we do have oats. Oats better for the environment anyway than the soy. Here, it's almost done here. Oh shit! Did that thing?
I didn't hear.
No, it didn't. But I think it jammed at 10.
Jammed.
Well, it's
Like
not. Look,
from,
it's not making. Yeah, like Spaceballs. It was jammed. Raspberry.
Strawberry.
Yeah. Here, let me go. Here's three that I'll give you. Molly Shannon or Shannon Doherty?
Shannon Doherty.
Yeah.
Didn't she die?
No, she had. Well,
yeah. I mean, I don't particularly care for either. It's just like Molly Shannon as superstar.
Yeah,
was not my jam.
I don't think it was my jam either.
Yeah, that's all.
I watched 90210 when I was growing up, and then I liked Shannon Doherty and Mallrats. Well, I guess I didn't like her in it, but she does have. She's got cancer. She's been battling about a cancer. I don't think she's passed away. I'd hate.
Well, then definitely Shannon Doherty, and shout out to her.
Yeah. I was following her on Instagram for a while before the pandemic, and she was doing showing her whole thing with that was Billy Bragg or Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
Oh, cool. And then Bushwick Bill or Bill Withers.
Bill Withers.
Okay.
I like Bushwick Bill too. I mean, some of these have been hard, but Billie Eilish is like insanely creative, and like I'm really super like excited that she exists and is like I feel like disrupted the trajectory of what pop music was doing, and has made some really weird fucking songs that got huge. So yeah, I'm happy about that. And yeah, Bill Withers is just, come on. That's just a soulful human being.
Yeah, for sure.
So is Bushwick Bill.
Yeah, I fucking love Bushwick Bill.
Fuck yeah, he's the shit.
Yeah, I know most people don't even. I mean, the newer generation probably have no idea who he is, but goddamn, that dude's pretty fantastic. I'm gonna before I wrap up, I'm gonna do a couple of Minnesota things. Do you know what the most common high school mascot in Minnesota is?
Yeah, it would be. Fuck, would it be?
I was surprised. I'll tell you that.
I would bet it's like an eagle or something.
Oh, you got it. An eagle. 24 high schools. What was your mascot? What was your mascot in high school?
It was a lion.
Yeah. Well, 24 high schools in Minnesota.
That always surprises me
mascots.
When a mascot is from like far and away. Not a mountain lion, just a lion. Was yours?
Yeah, like a lion. Yeah, like eagle makes sense. There's a lot of like towns and whatever here called eagle something or other. There's a lot of bald eagles in this area.
There are a lot. Yeah.
A lot of Native American like symbology still or symbolism rather still. And yeah.
What about what is a timber wolf? Is that just a wolf?
I think it's like a wolf.
It's a wolf of the woods.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's timber.
Yeah. Wait, is it actually?
Well, it's timber. It's a timber wolf,
or is it like a Wolverine type thing?
I don't know. But are there?
You guys clearly are the two that do the research here.
Doesn't your basketball team have a mascot that has?
It's the Timberwolves.
His name is Crunch.
Is it really?
Yeah, because he was initially sponsored by Nestle's Crunch.
Oh my god!
That's like a Nestle's Crunch thing. Like now he's just called Crunch still.
Well, yeah, mascots make no sense because we're the Utah Jazz. Obviously, we came from New Orleans.
Which makes no sense, right?
But our mascot is a bear.
Oh yeah.
It's not a jazz. It's not a jazz note.
It's not a sax.
It would be weird if it's sax.
Do you have any weird phobias?
Yeah, like I would say I have many probably, but snakes.
Oh yeah, but that
I'm
one's
just
not
terrified
weird.
of them. I'm terrified of like getting approached by a snake in the wild.
Oh, even if there are no snakes around.
I like to stick to like, yeah, I really like going to New York City, and it feels like good. Not a single snake is gonna fall out of a tree or nor a hole or whatever is gonna.
It might. There's been
So just
stories.
start walking around. Like my brother lives in Utah now, and he used to live in Colorado, but we would walk wherever, and I was just like, "There's gonna be a fucking snake anywhere I go." You know, walking through some hiking trail.
Rattlesnakes for sure.
Yeah,
But they at least they warn you.
That's true.
We were hiking
Yeah.
in Texas one time and we saw this gigantic. The worst is to go hiking somewhere you're not from. So at least where you're from, you know what exists there. But we saw this gigantic rat snake and I had no idea what it was. Just this big black snake going up a tree. And I was like, I think we need to get back to our campsite like right now.
and by campsite I mean the fucking Hilton.
Yeah, the Hilton where there are bed bugs. I'll take snakes over bed bugs. Mullet or mohawk?
Mullet.
Yeah.
That's a Minnesota thing.
Oh, that's true.
There's this thing. It was a nice little thing for you to maybe Google later. But there's this every year they do this like boys high school hockey tournament. Like in Texas, high school football is the big
Right.
fucking thing. But this isn't the same level of fanaticism. But the high school hockey tournament is like a big ass deal in Minnesota. And every year they do like this, someone does this recap of like all the amazing high school hockey hair
Yeah.
and does like a top 10 list of the best hockey hair from the
Always
year.
mullets.
It's, oh God, or just insane fucking dudes.
Didn't you have a mullet once or something? Yeah, you had like some
Sort of. Like it was like I had it real long from here and here, the whole thing.
Yeah.
What started as like depression turned into a joke, which turned into more depression, which kept the joke going. And all of a sudden shit was like at my shoulders. And I was like, this is insane.
Oh, well, shit, man. The timer fucking kind of went bonkers on me. I got most of the drawing. I will detail the hell out of this drawing and
I can't wait.
Definitely get
That's
it done
super
for you and
cool.
get it sent to you. And I'll make it a little more red. So it's kind of more red. I had a bunch of other things but I'll get with you another time
Next
about
time.
those.
Let's do it
Yeah.
again. That'd be fun.
Let me ask you, I close the show with a final philosophical. That's how I like to close out our session.
Okay.
So your philosophical question is, how do you know your perceptions are real?
Oh,
Or are they real?
ooh. Well, there's a little bit of like feeling out the situation around you, bouncing ideas off people, and not being too convicted to the things that you believe, think, and perceive by like kind of pressure testing it against other people, what they might think, see, and perceive. And then ultimately, none of it fucking matters, really. So just like be kind, do good, treat people as good as you can, and act with integrity, and
Yeah,
trust, and you can trust your perceptions.
I like that. That's good advice. That was a hard. When I came up with the question, I was like, I don't know how to answer that.
I mean, like, how do you know that what you've just seen is reliable information? How do you know that you've interpreted it correctly? Like, okay, I just watched an interaction between two people, but I have no context to that interaction.
Right.
Was that interaction positive, negative, neutral? Was this thing that I thought I saw not that thing entirely? Because there's more context to that moment than I even understood. And so I think even that is like the inroad to that is like compassion for the experience and understanding this context. And everyone who walked into this moment, wherever they are, wherever you bump into them, has a whole bunch of context and story about their day and their life and their moment that they came to this moment with too. And so understanding that like we all have a different perspective.
Yeah. And that's where empathy comes in. When you have some empathy for that, you can say, yeah, that dude just got hit by a car 20 minutes ago. So he's having a
or
different
not, or
experience.
like fuck, he
Yeah.
was an asshole to me, and like this motherfucker is an asshole to me right now. But I don't know,
Something
something happened to him. Something happened to most people who are assholes. Something happened to them.
Yeah,
And I'll give him a pass a little bit, like
a little bit. Yeah,
a little bit. Hey man, fucking move on. Bless yourself.
Well, all right. Let me go. So the oh shit, I do want to ask you if you fall in front of somebody or like you trip or something, how do you play it? Are you good like in front of a whole group of people? Like if you tripped over something and
I usually do one of these, you know,
Yeah.
like, own it. Like
you own it.
I'm embarrassed, but
Right.
the way I do my embarrassment is not like,
Yeah.
you know, just, yeah.
It does feel a little more pathetic when you like shy away or like or you get all embarrassed. Huh? I mean, you know you're yeah. Awesome.
I think the coolest people I've ever seen do it is just do it and then just right back up into like anywhere, you know.
Right.
I don't have that amount of like smooth bit to myself. I'm just like so self-conscious. Hey, I did it. Like on the exterior, like, you know,
Yeah.
interior is like, God, everyone's looking at
I'm
me.
definitely the same.
The other fucking thing probably goes back to both of these questions. It ties it all together. No one's looking at you.
That's right. No one's
looking at you. No one's thinking about you.
That's right. Well, so what is what to close it out? What's in your future? What can we know about as a public that takes in things that you create? What can we look forward to?
TBD. I'm just making things,
cool.
exploring and seeing what comes next. And
Is there is there anything that because you don't do a lot of social media stuff, right?
Yeah.
How do you prefer people to
you can reach out on social media. Someone's gonna see it, flag it to me. You can email me, sims@doomtree.net. And when the thing is right and I've got like the real inspiration to put the thing out, we'll be back on social media in full force.
Cool.
But it's just it's not a place for me that feels like, I don't know. It's not a joyful place for me.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. But we can maybe, I'm not trying to push you or anything, but like I'm a huge fan of your music. So I can look forward to being able to hear some creations from you.
Yeah, totally. And in the meantime, we do have a Patreon, which I put a new song out almost every month on. So on the Doomtree Patreon, patreon.com/Doomtree, I think. You go there and it's like $10 a month. You get every piece of music that Doomtree's ever made. And then you get access to a whole archive of like whatever stuff. Like I put demos up or I put unreleased things, or I'll like record myself doing a song over a beat I just made, you know. So we do all that kind of stuff. And what that money does is it goes and helps like the creation of new art for all 7 of us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so they all put into
they all like everyone puts something up, whatever it is. Like could be you know, Papes will do, hey, here's something I designed today or whatever, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Here's some pros, here's a little video from so and so.
Patreon.com/Doomtree.
I think so.
Yeah, it'll probably be something like that. I'll put the link up on the video.
Isn't that fucked up that I don't even know that? I don't know. It's like Patreon Doomtree or something.
There's so much to know. All right. Well, anything? Any last words you want to say to anybody? Is there anything important that you got to get off your chest?
No, just thanks for the love and thank you guys for having me and continue to do good, make art.
Thanks for joining us, man. I really appreciated having a conversation with you. And that's that.
Lovely.
You said it all.
See you guys later.
All right, man.
Nice
Cheers.
meeting you.
Nice meeting. Nice hanging with you.
Don't call the cops, they don't work for us. Put your hands in cuffs. You know who runs this shit? You know what runs this shit? Head of flesh, pound of steam, piggy see your pocket.
Well, there you go. That was I got better at I mean, not
what's that?
Not it. I drew quicker. I had more of a drawing done, and I don't know how long the episode is, but I was definitely conscious of not going, of the time, because I don't want to take up people's time. I hope that I get to talk to. That was awesome. I've definitely reached out to Dessa a couple of times. I'd like to get her on the show. She's pretty busy. Everyone's busy. I get it. I'm just glad that he got back to me. So that was awesome. It was a nice chat. But yeah, I definitely felt out of my, not out of my element, but not as crisp as we were getting. Like, I don't know. What do you have to say? That's it.
That we should definitely check out the high school hockey hair thing that he was telling us about. That sounds really fun. And that I do wish that we were back to a time, or could get back to a time, where music drove culture instead of social media driving culture.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was kind of wondering, though.
Driving.
Are we just older now and we don't realize that is how it...
Well, I think it's perspective. I think that we lived how it was and we're living how it is. And personally, I prefer, that's my preference, I prefer for the arts and the music to drive the culture.
But that's kind of your position, though. That's what you're feeling, that that's like not
social media is
driving culture,
and
not
social media is really false. It kind of makes me sad.
But isn't it? But isn't there a lot of there's a lot of artists that are putting their artwork. Oh shit! Now I'm saying that. I mean, one of the big things that's happening on like TikTok and Instagram, all these artists are like showing these. Well, there's that meme of like someone's hard work, this artwork, and it has like 0 likes. But then there's a picture of like someone's selfie or something, and it has thousands. So yeah, they are kind of saying like the arts aren't being respected, but there is a place for art. Jeez, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's time for us to put the phones down. Hopefully you're not watching this on your phone. And if you are, that's okay.
But it is a good avenue to sharing your artwork to people if you don't have an opportunity to get it out there. Like well, shit. Yeah, see, you're right, because I like the beginning of my career was a lot of that struggle of like, I need to get my work. Even when I was making music, you had to go out there and put flyers on cars and go like, how do you get your artwork to see people? Now, yeah, shit. I'm with you now on that, because there is a laziness to like, well, I made the art.
And not that social media is just a different kind of work, but in my head, I classify it as like a false. It's not real.
It's not real interactions.
Things are cropped and things are photoshopped and placed, positioned. It just seems inauthentic. It
kind of is, because who was the comedian that we were watching that said, he's had that funny line where he was saying, if you were like in public, if you just saw a girl like laying there in a bikini, you wouldn't say, hey, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was right. Russell Howard. Yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't. Yeah,
that would be creepy if somebody just came up to you and
that was a good observation. Basically,
I like
you.
His
observation was someone in a bikini, like you like it, push the like button, but if you were in real life, you wouldn't walk up and point everyone like, yeah, that's true. So it is false. What do we do about that?
I think we put down our phones and go outside and interact with people again, especially since I feel like we've gotten the clear to do so. I mean, if you feel like wearing a mask and doing it safely in whatever regard you feel, I think it's time to get, like, we spent 2 full years in fully engaged online. At least I did. And I think it's like, okay, did that. Now I want to put it away and I want, real relationships with real interactions.
Is the DOD45 a real relationship? I mean, everyone we've had on the show, I'm pushing to actually meet in person and have conversations with.
I think like when we met Chesky on here, and then we went out to breakfast with him.
That was nice, right?
It just made just that real relationship. I'm craving authenticity.
Yeah.
And I feel like all I'm getting fed is not authentic.
Right. Well, but if my answer to this DOD45, it is definitely virtual. I would like to get to a point where we could have people in studio and talk with them. But all the show has always been like, I like these people. I want to be, I like having these real conversations with people. So
No, I don't think that the interaction here is not authentic, but it's not like cultivated to be perfect. We slip up, you stutter, somebody answers something that they might regret, or I say something that I'm like, oops.
yeah.
But so I don't think it's
But that's
I
going out
don't
into
think
the
that
public.
that's everything.
Right.
I don't think everything online is inauthentic, but
Right.
I
Mostly
think
your
the majority
gripe is
of
with
it-
social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, people, if you have any answers to how we can better the world of social media, or if you have an opinion on, do you think that that's kind of having a negative impact on our society and us as a people? I'd like to hear it. I'm interested to hear it. Let us know anything else that we want to know.
Yeah, I just want to say hi, DJ Mayo. Thanks for always watching these.
Hey, look at that.
and
Yeah.
supporting us.
Yeah, that is awesome. I think, yeah, DJ Mayo was, I believe he was on the Anacon label too or something. I mean, he's been
I think
around.
he's part of Anacon.
Yeah, he's part of that game.
I don't really
Maybe
know.
I should reach out to him. So yeah, that was cool. Look at Matron saying hi, DJ Mayo. Of course, this will be the episode that he doesn't watch.
Or he may not watch it till the end either. I don't know.
That's true.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks everybody, and welcome to series 3, and we'll see who else we're going to be having on. Thanks for watching DOD45. Thanks for joining us, and please. Oh, let me say this. Please do go and leave comments. It does make a difference on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Leave some comments. Let us know what you're thinking. That definitely helps get the show out to other people. On the YouTube, if you're watching, doing the watch versions, leave some comments, some subscribe, all of that stuff. It makes a difference, and it's helpful when we do need to reach out to sponsors, because we probably should start
trying.
Yeah, probably should
Okay.
start getting paid for the work. Not pay, but like to pay
Okay.
to make this work. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us on DOD45. I'm Art by. Oh, go to artbytai.com, and that's it. Cheers.
There are thoughts in my head that take place in my bed, and I don't have to lie, but I do that instead. Things that need to be said, poison in my brain like lead.
Thanks for watching this episode of DOD45. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I don't want you to ever miss an episode. Also, stick around my YouTube page for a bit. There's a whole array of videos to enjoy, including time-lapse videos, drawing tutorials, and live streams. It's like an amusement park. Now click that subscribe button and go watch another episode of DOD45. Cheers.